The Prime Minister is reacting to David Johnston's decision not to recommend an inquiry into foreign election interference. We'll listen in live now.
Ingérence étrangère dans les élections canadiennes et pour fournir des recommandations afin que le Canada
to make recommendations so that Canada can better protect its democracy. The mandate included recommendations on the processes so that Canada can effectively fight foreign interference and so that Canadians can have confidence in their democratic systems. We welcome today's report and its recommendations.
Canadians have had many questions over the last few months, and that is why we launched this process. The former Governor-General has reviewed thousands of pages of classified and unclassified documents. While preparing his report, Mr. Johnston was given complete access to any relevant records and documents from across government. I myself welcomed the opportunity to sit down with him, as did other ministers. He also interviewed senior officials, security experts, and many others. The work has led him to conclude that, and I quote, "The elections of 2019 and 2021 were well protected by sophisticated mechanisms, and there is no basis to lack confidence in their results." The
report reiterates independently and impartially that the last two elections in Canada were free and fair, and that the results represented the will of Canadians. According to the report, there are no indications that the political class failed to take action on advice or recommendations. However, the report indicates that foreign interference is a serious threat. It contains recommendations on a process aimed at detecting, deterring, and countering attempted interference, and to better manage the circulation of information within the public service. We accept these recommendations. The former Governor-General has determined that the next step of his work would be to hold public hearings. We support this work unreservedly, including the Governor-General's intention to create dialogue with Canadians, in particular those from the diaspora community who are often the targets of interference. This work is essential to the preparation of his final report. In accordance with the recommendations, the OSSNR will examine the confidential segments of this report so that they can conduct their own evaluation.
Letters have been sent to opposition leaders offering security clearances so that they may receive the relevant intelligence. I think everyone can agree with the former Governor-General's assessment that all leaders must work from a common understanding of true facts. Mr. Johnston also recognized that more work must be done to address the shortcomings in the flow of security information from the public service to the political level. Our government will always protect the integrity of Canada's democracy and stand up to foreign attempts to interfere with it. And this is a duty our government has dedicated ourselves to since day one. In fact, in 2015, we ran on a promise to bring in oversight of our national security agencies by parliamentarians from all parties, something the previous government had staunchly refused to do, and we did that. The work to counter foreign interference needs to constantly innovate and evolve, especially in a world where interference by other countries in our democracy is more frequent and increasingly sophisticated. Just look at how easy it has been for bad actors to create and disseminate misinformation and disinformation online. And that's merely one example. I just got back from the G7 where we talked about this at length. The illegal invasion of Ukraine and rising authoritarianism were much discussed. And countries there, including non-G7 nations like South Korea and Australia, are facing threats to their democracies. Foreign interference is not new, and it doesn't just target our elections. It targets all aspects of society, our research institutes and universities, our businesses, and most commonly, the diverse communities that enrich our country. Canada is not alone in this. It has happened in elections in the United States, in France, in Germany, and in the Brexit referendum, among others. At the G7, one of the things we discussed was the rapid response mechanism that Canada introduced when we hosted in 2018 so that we could all strengthen our response to diverse and evolving threats to democracy. We will never tolerate foreign interference. Notre gouvernement continuera toujours de protéger.
Our government will always continue to protect the integrity of democracy in Canada and to defend it against attempted foreign interference.
And we've just been listening live there to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau reacting to David Johnston's decision not to recommend a public inquiry into foreign interference. Johnston has said that his findings show there's no basis to lack confidence in the results of the last two elections in Canada, and Trudeau says that he supports this. And of course, the next step recommended by David Johnston is that Canada will be holding public hearings, and Trudeau also said that he supports that work as well.